The first rule of Outpost Kepri was simple: do not touch the visitors. The second rule was more complicated: do not ask what they are. I broke both rules on the same night the sky cracked open. Kepri floated at the edge of mapped space, a way station hammered together from scavenged alloys and stubborn hope. We processed refugees, traders, exiles, anyone who could pay the docking fee or had a story convincing enough to earn temporary shelter. I was a medic by trade, a nobody by reputation, and a survivor by habit. Most days were triage and paperwork. Most nights were quiet enough to hear the station's bones creak as it drifted through radiation fog. Then she arrived. Her ship didn't request permission to dock. It didn't even slow. Space folded like paper around its hull, and suddenly she was there, an obsidian crescent cutting into Kepri's orbit. Our sensors screamed, then went dead. Gravity hiccuped. Half the station lost power. The other half lost courage. She came alone. I was the one who opened the quarantine chamber, because everyone else had found a reason not to. The door slid back, releasing air that shimmered faintly blue. She stood in the center, taller than me by a head, her skin dark as polished stone and etched with lines that glowed like embers beneath ash. Her eyes were silver, ancient and alert, but it was her posture that struck me most, not threatening, not submissive, but tired. "I require medical assistance," she said, in perfect trade. Her voice carried a resonance that made my teeth ache. I should have called security. I should have sealed the room. Instead, I asked, "What happened to your crew?" She hesitated. For the first time, something like pain flickered across her face. I was the crew. That was the beginning. Her name was Ashikel, though she said names were a convenience, not a truth. She had been injured in a collapse, an internal failure, she called it, something to do with a sealed power within her biology. My scan struggled to read her. Her blood chemistry rewrote itself as I watched. Her heart beat in patterns, not rhythms. "Your technology is primitive," she said gently, as I worked. "But your intent is sufficient." I laughed, more from nerves than humor. "That's the nicest insult I've had all week." She watched me closely. I noticed then the faint tremor in her hands, the way her glow dimmed when she breathed. "You are dying," I said. "Yes." I swallowed. "How long?" She considered. "Hours. Possibly minutes." I didn't ask why she hadn't gone somewhere better equipped. The answer was obvious: she couldn't. "There is a method," she said. "A transfer." I stiffened. "Transfer of what?" "Vital essence." I stared at her. "You're saying you need a blood transfusion?" Her silver eyes narrowed. "No. I am saying you do." The silence pressed in, thick and heavy. "I'm not compatible with," I began. "You are," she interrupted softly. "I would not be here if you were not." Every instinct told me to back away. To run. To remember the rules. But another part of me, the same part that kept me alive through famine and war, recognized the truth in her voice. "What happens if I refuse?" I asked. She bowed her head. "Then the power I carry will die with me. And the things hunting it will come anyway." That did it. I rolled up my sleeve. The process was not what I expected. No needles. No machines. She placed a hand over my wrist, and heat flared, sharp, not painful, but deep. My vision swam. I felt my pulse echo back at me, amplified. "Drink," she said. I stared at the shallow incision that had opened along her palm, glowing softly. The blood shimmered like liquid starlight. This was madness. I took one drink. The universe exploded. Memories that were not mine tore through my mind, empires rising from dust, stars bending to will, cities carved into living planets. I saw her people, tall and radiant, guardians of something older than time. I felt their fall, the betrayal, the sealing of a force too dangerous to remain free. And then I felt it notice me. Power surged through my veins, rewriting me cell by cell. My heart stuttered, then found a new rhythm, stronger, deeper. Symbols burned themselves into my skin, echoing hers. I screamed. Ashikel screamed with me. When it ended, I collapsed to the floor, gasping. The room hummed, energy crackling along the walls. Alarms wailed throughout the station. I looked up at her. She was kneeling now, dim, fragile. "What did you do to me?" I whispered. She smiled, weak but relieved. "I saved you." Security arrived too late. By the time they burst in, weapons raised, Ashikel had faded, her body dissolving into light that streamed into my chest like a dying star finding a new home. "She's gone," I said, hoarse. The captain stared at me, then at the scorched floor, the reading spiking off every sensor. What the hell happened? I didn't know how to answer. I found out soon enough. They came 3 hours later. The hunters. Ships blacker than void, bristling with weapons that warped space around them. They didn't hail us. They didn't threaten. They demanded. "Return the bearer," a voice thundered across every channel. "The ancient seal has been breached." The station shook as a warning shot tore past our hull, shredding debris fields into nothing. I felt the power stir inside me, like a sleeping giant rolling over. "I think they mean me," I said. The captain looked at the symbols glowing through my uniform. "You think?" Running wasn't an option. Kepri's engines were fried. Our defenses were laughable. The hunters began boarding, phasing through hull plating like ghosts. I didn't want to be a hero. I didn't want to be anything special. But Ashikel's memories whispered guidance, and my body moved before fear could stop it. I stepped into the corridor as the first hunter emerged, a towering figure of jagged armor and swirling darkness. Its presence sucked warmth from the air. "You are unworthy," it hissed. I raised my hand. The power answered. Light roared from my palm, not destructive but commanding. The hunter froze, armor cracking as if reality itself rejected it. With a sound like shattering glass, it folded inward and vanished. The corridor fell silent. I stared at my hand, shaking. What was that?" someone whispered behind me. I turned. A warning. The rest of the hunters felt it. I could sense them now, linked by threads of malice and hunger. They paused, recalculating. Then they attacked all at once. The station became a battlefield. Walls buckled. Gravity twisted. I moved through it like a storm given purpose, guided by instincts older than language. I didn't kill unless I had to. Mostly, I unmade, severing their connection to the void they drew power from. When it was over, the hunters retreated, their ships folding away in wounded panic. Kepri was scarred but standing. So was I. The aftermath was harder than the fight. Word spread fast. Refugees looked at me with awe and fear. The captain asked questions I couldn't fully answer. Scientists wanted tests. Governments wanted control. I wanted silence. Ashikel's presence lingered within me, not a voice, exactly, but a sense of companionship. Purpose. She had not died, she had continued. "You chose well," her memory seemed to say. What choice did I have? I muttered, alone in the observation dome. "The same one you always had," the memory replied. To act. The hunters would return. Others would come. The power inside me was a beacon now, impossible to hide. But it was also a shield. I made my decision before dawn cycle. I left Kepri the next day. Not running. Traveling. I took a small ship, retrofitted and stubborn, and set course for the places Ashikel had shown me, the lost worlds, the sealed gates, the scars in the galaxy where ancient mistakes still bled. I would learn. I would guard. I would choose restraint over domination, mercy over fear. I was not a god. Not a king. Not a weapon. I was a medic who took one drink of alien blood to save a stranger. And in doing so, I inherited an ancient power, one that did not belong to me, but trusted me all the same. The sky ahead shimmered as space bent, opening paths unseen. For the first time in my life, I stepped forward without hesitation. The universe had been wounded long before I was born. Now, finally, it had someone willing to help heal it.